What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Looty's Guide to Elden Ring. In today's video we're going to go over some of the basics for Elden Ring, some things you may know and some things you may not know. If you are an experienced player or a new player, maybe this video might be for you, because even there was a few things that I even missed in this game. We'll be going over everything from starting class to farming spots. So, hope you guys enjoy, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below for more videos. Now, if you're an experienced player, one of these mini classes is probably best suited for you if you've got a build like strength dex, dexterity, intellect. But if you're a brand new player, I would highly suggest the wretch class. The reason for the wretch class is because it starts at level 1 and you have 10 levels at each and every stat. So it gives you a good variety to try out different builds right then and there. Plus the low cost to go from level 1 to level 2 versus level 10 to 11 is absolutely amazing and will help you out in the long run. Alrighty guys, to keep it short and simple, basically Queen Marika has destroyed the Elden Ring and the world has went to shit. You play as the Tarnish. Well, a Tarnish that no one knows about, actually. And to make things even better, you start in a world where you have no effing clue where you're at, and you're butt-ass naked.
Cross the fog to the lands between.
Now, don't get me wrong. You're probably thinking to yourself, but I'm butt-ass naked with no armor and just a club. Like, what am I going to do? The Wretched class isn't horrible to start out with. It's actually quite decent, and I was enjoying myself. And in the next little bit of this video, I'm going to show you how to farm for some armor sets. But first off, we need to get the hell out of this area. So, welcome to your first area. This is called the Church of Anticipation. This is where every single new player is going to start. Basically, you need to pick up the item on the dead body to your right. I already picked it up during this recording. And you're going to head out of the church to the left down the stairs, and you're going to be meted with your first boss. You're meant to die. But hey, by all means, if you think you can take him on, you'll be rewarded heavily for your triumphs. But I will repeat this. You are meant to die. So, take a couple swipes at him if you can. See what you can do. Who knows? Maybe you'll kick his ass. But as you can see right here, I get absolutely wrecked.
Oh, did you do the oh crap, what are they? The worst one? Yeah.
Now you wake up in a different area, loincloth attached still, wondering where the hell you are. Well, welcome to the tutorial area. Well, then again, you get a choice to go through the tutorial area, or if you are an experienced player that knows how to play the game, by all means, continue on to the pathway to the left. But talk to the ghost-looking dude, he's going to tell you a few things. Obviously, take the plunge. You can make the landing, it's pretty cool, and go on with your learning. Running through the tutorial area here, you're going to learn all the basic combats of light attack, heavy attack, jump attack, block, parry, guard counter, all sorts of fun stuff. So by all means, if you don't know what the heck you're doing, then run through this area. Now I'm going to speed some things up and basically go through what you're going to meet in this area, but it's not too complicated. Even the little boss they put at the end is kind of a joke. Alrighty, enjoy the little chipmunks voices of me and my friend talking as I record this. Now, there is a new mechanic in this game that I really absolutely love, and it's called the guard counter. Sadly, the Wretched class does not start with a shield, so you won't be able to perform the guard counter right away, but I will show you later on in the video a merchant where you can buy a shield for pretty cheap on the runes. Now, most of these enemies are not going to pose a threat to you. They're pretty easy to fight, especially as the Wretched class. Just wail away with them and the hammer, club them to death. It shouldn't be that big of a trouble. Even the soldiers might put up a little bit of a fight, but I'm pretty sure you got this. There's nothing really too much to note. All these enemies are pretty simple. They're all set up to basically show you the way of the tutorial. The only thing I could mention is you can two-hand your weapon by holding triangle and pressing the right bumper or left bumper, depending on which hand your weapon is on. And then you can press the left trigger to activate your barbaric war, which will give you an increased strength and then a different kind of heavy swing attack. But I don't know if I showed in this video. I'm not entirely sure. But now we'll be moving on to the boss coming up here shortly. Alrighty, as you pass through the yellow fog wall, that means boss. This guy is basically a joke. As you can see here, I do a jump smash attack and it staggers him right off the bat. You shouldn't have too much of a trouble, hopefully not. But if he does get you, don't worry. Sweep the dust off your feet and go at it again. You will get this guy, he's pretty simple. Alrighty, now head out the exit up and around the cliffs, pick up the emote right there, and celebrate by rocking that emote like a champ. You did it, the tutorial's over. Now head up the stairs and take the elevator up because you are done. Remember how I said you go through the yellow fog wall for a boss? Well, these gray fog walls require stone sword keys. You see those two little imps right there? You can put a 1 stone sword key or a 2 stone sword key in the imp's head. It just depends on the situation. But basically, it'll unlock that fog wall and you can pass on through. But this fog wall in general, I do not suggest going through right off the bat. But I feel like these tutorial videos are going to get their attention better.
Right.
Welcome to Limgrave. Take in the sight of how beautiful and majestic this world is, because now you get to go wherever the hell you want. First thing first is head down to the first grace you see right in front of you and then talk to our dear friend to the left. He's going to make fun of you, but just exhaust his dialogue, and he will give you a few key points on where to go and what to do.
That's a weird fucking area.
Oh, yes. Tarnished, are we? Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless. Without guidance, without the strength of runes, and without an invitation to the round table hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity.
So yeah, as our white-masked friend said, you are fated to die. He basically goes on to tell you that the grace will guide you to where you need to go, and as you can see here, the grace is heading to the Church of Ella. Now you have one of two directions. To the right, well...
So I'm pretty heavy right now. If I can get the Banished Knight's chest over there.
yeah. And to the left, if you just follow my character here, I will show you the safe and non-aggro way from the Tree Sentinel so you can get to the Church of Ella, which will be your next
Oh, I died.
grace.
I gotta run,
If you hug the cliffside to the left here, you'll see an area where you can just jump down and not catch the aggro from the Tree Sentinel. This is probably the safest way to make it to the Church of the Ella and
Hey, can you
the
YouTube
first
search
merchant that you will
Elden
meet.
Ring for Dummies and see if somebody's already nabbed that title? I don't know. I'm trying to think of good title names to grab people's attention.
Yep. Eurogamer. Oh,
Okay.
They're popular. Yep.
I'll think of something here.
But 469K views. So yeah.
Alrighty, now that you've got the grace for the Church of Ella, go talk to Calais. If I'm pronouncing that correct, I probably butchered it.
Yeah.
Anywho, you're gonna exhaust his dialogue, talk to him, you'll figure out that he's a nomadic merchant, and you're his only customer. First thing first, you need to buy his crafting kit. It is going to be an essential thing for crafting materials such as to be able to summon people, craft fire bombs, craft poison debuffs, so on and so forth.
Goodbye. Nice to do
I
business.
found a new bow, but it's a short bow. Not really helpful.
Now, right over here is the smithing table.
Like it's half the range
Without
of
the
my
blacksmith, this is probably an easy way for you to level up your weapons to +1,
so
+2,
here-
depending on how many smithing stones you have.
Has time till
So keep this in
nightfall,
mind as you
And
continue
pick up
on
my
your path.
free summoning bell. Well. That's
Now,
weird,
as I
she's
look
not here.
confused here, I was trying to find the witch
I don't know what that trick is.
Marina. I can't think of names. It's so hard to keep names straight in Elden Ring, but she doesn't spawn. Later on in a clip,
know
I will
either.
show you. I actually do get her to spawn.
Alright, well,
I
I'm gonna have to
think
farm
you're
some
supposed to
armor
have
anyway.
the Spectral Steed Torrent in order to get her to spawn at night in this exact spot. Alrighty, as I speed this video up, you're going to watch me fight the Godric Knights right here. They shouldn't pose much of a threat to you. Most of them have their backs turned, so easily just walk up behind them and smash the ever-living crap out of them. Now, this is where I am going to talk about farming and how you can get yourself some armor. The armor set that these guys are wearing will drop at some point in time after killing them over and over again. In order to reset these guys back to their original positions, just walk back to the Church of Ella, sit at the Grace, and rinse and repeat. It shouldn't take you long, but you should be able to get a full Godric set. Hell, you might even get one of their swords. And you don't have to carry around that club anymore. But as you can see here, I was thoroughly enjoying the club. Now, note to self, pick up every single crafting item you see out here. One of them is root resin, the other one is gold tinged excrement. Those are go-to items for crafting grease, fire grease, blood grease, and certain crackpot grenades. So be sure to pick them up and just keep rinsing and repeating until you have yourself a full set of armor. Alrighty, next on the agenda are these glowing skulls. Now, if you crack one of these skulls open, you'll get a golden rune 1. Be on the lookout for these. They do spawn in, and they're easy to collect. As you can see here, I struggle to smash one, but as soon as you smash one, you can collect the item inside. And they should give you about 200 runes, I think, give or take. Don't quote me on it. Alrighty, now I'm going to show you the basics of trading. You can invite a friend of yours if your passwords match and summon them into your game. Now, they can hand you off anything and everything that they may not need or ever use because their character build will not allow them to use it. So this is a very useful thing. On top of summoning them in, they can run around with you in other areas and give you an extra hand. Now, keep in mind, you summon your friends in, the enemies are a little bit stronger. Your friend gets a little bit nerfed with half of the potions that he will be carrying on him. So it is helpful, and yet it does raise the difficulty of certain bosses. So to each their own. As you can see here, my friend gives me a curved club. Because he's not going to use it, he has no use for it, and he's like, oh, here, have the club.
I don't think you can give it to me.
Leave.
Yep. Step away.
As you can see here, it will show up in this little symbol.
Right here.
Another downside to summoning your friend will leave you open for invaders. Elden Ring has a PvP aspect where people can invade your world and fight you just for the hell of it, because you know what is better than having a troll beat the ever-living shit out of you.
No, I think he's being noble. Just back up.
Basically, to spot out an invader, they glow red, as you can see here, and sometimes people will be noble
Yeah,
and
he's
do
bowing.
one-on-one duels, and other times
Oh, well,
people
hell
will
with it.
come in with the craziest, overpowered
legit.
builds you have ever seen, and you will get absolutely wrecked. It's hard to tell what you're gonna get.
I got some defense on me.
Also, to speed along this video, I'm just going to let you guys know that I get absolutely wrecked. Alright, so you have two directions to go here. You can head right towards the giant Erd tree, or you can head left to the cave. Now, I kind of suggest the cave, and that is where I'm going to head to right now. It's a pretty good beginner cave for people to run through. The boss isn't that horrible, and I will actually show you what you're going to deal with when you get inside that cave and fight the boss. Alright, so the entrance to the cave is the Godric soldier here in this little farm you've been doing. To the far left, sitting there just chilling. Take him out and head inside the cave. As you can see in here, nothing real crazy to fight with. You're just going to deal with a good pack of wolves. Now, the nice thing in here is a cracked pot. What I didn't know until like 60 hours into my gameplay is the cracked pot is a reusable crafting item. And that will be able to be reused to make fire pots, holy pots, poison pots, so on and so forth. And they're basically like little grenades. They're very useful and they are an absolute must-have, especially if you're not going to run a magic build or a faith build. So just clear out the wolves and head to the yellow fog that's in the cave. There's nothing real intricate about this cave. It's pretty straightforward, and it's going to lead you in the direction of the boss. As you can see here, this boss is very fast and erratic. He's going to take me out in this first try, but just to give you an idea of what his battle moves are here, he does go into this crazy wombo combo killer move that takes me out. But on the second try, I actually figured out a real nice easy way to punch his shit in. Do keep a note, do what you can to get your runes back. Once you die, you lose those runes. So if you're sitting on 5,000 runes and you die, they're gone and you'll never get them back. So this trick took me a hot second to figure out, but basically if you just start jump and smashing him, you're gonna stagger him at some point. And that's all I did to fight this boss, is I just kept jump attacking his ass until he staggered, and then I did the crit hit in front and basically whittled him down to nothing. I will have to admit, on my first playthrough fighting this boss, he was such a pain in the ass to fight. And learning this new cheese, I guess you could say, I feel so dumb. Alright, and for your rewards you'll get the Flame Drake Talisman, which basically negates fire damage to a certain point. So it's quite a nice talisman to have on hand, because there are some enemies out there that deal fire damage. So heading off to your left when you exit the cave towards these ruins here, which is your next place to go, you're going to come across a huge group of enemies. Basically, they're not too terrible to fight. Just sneak around a few paths here and there. They do give me a little bit of a trouble in a couple spots, and it does take me a hot second to fight them off, but basically you can sneak around the whole area, kill off the ones you can kill that are standing behind you, or have their backs turned towards you, I should say. And you should be able to take them out one by one if you just learn their patterns. So there's a few key points to mention here in this area. Downstairs here, to the right of where we came in at, there is a chest that will have an item that will allow you to equip and unequip ashes to your weapons. It's very useful to have, and you even get an ash for it that you can equip right away.
No! I always fuck up on the timing on that one. Not that one, no.
Alrighty, now I'm going to show you how to get to the two chests. Now these giant black carriage things you'll see out here in the ruins, on the back of them in certain points, as I'll show you here, there are two chests. One will hold a great sword and the other will hold a flail. Depending on what build you want to go for, these might be go-to weapons to come pick up. They're pretty simple to get. You can sneak behind the enemies and take them by surprise and kill them off easily without alerting the other guards to your whereabouts.
If it gets me some attention, yay, and if it doesn't, then I don't know. I give up.
Alrighty, I'm going to speed this up real quick, and obviously this first carriage will give you the morning flail, and then if you wrap around here, you'll be able to sneak past the guards, pick up the map piece, which is very crucial to have, wrap back around where you came from when you grab the map piece, wrap around again to the second carriage, beat that guy right there without alerting the guards, and you'll get the Lord's Sworn Greatsword. And then if you head up to the north there, you'll hit the next grace. And if you sit at that grace, you will meet Melina, and you will get your spectral steed, Torrent. Alrighty, enjoy the Chipmunk voice of her. Basically, she offers to be your maiden and give you guidance. She gives you the spectral steed, Torrent, and with her, you're able to level up finally. Hooray! Basically, listen to her yammer on about what's going on and what direction you need to head towards and all that jazz, and exhaust the dialogue. Level up if you want to level up. As for me, I was a maroon and I've lost some runes here and there, so I can't level up that much. I think I can only level up once, and I put it in strength so I can use that new club that my friend Tex gave me. Alrighty, to the south of the ruins is the Aggio Lake. Now, this is a go-to spot for every single beginner, and that is why I'm showing it to you right now. We are probably going to speed along this video, but basically hug the edge of the lake. Now, I came from the left. When you come from the ruins, you will come from the right of the lake. But hug the edge. Do not go closer to the center of the lake, or you will spawn in the Dragon Aggio. And you don't want that. He's a rough fight, and it's no fun. So basically, hug the edge of the wall like I did, and you will head down the elevator to the Limgrave tunnels. Now, a very good thing to keep in mind is I had one hell of an easy time taking out these miners with my club because it deals strike damage. You need to keep in note that weapons deal different types of damage. We have the standard, the slash, the pierce and the strike damage, if I'm correct. So yeah, if you have a club or can buy a club, it would be a go-to for you down in these caves. These miners should pose no threat whatsoever to you at all. So you should have an easy time going through this cave as you watch me run through and pick tons of things up. There's nothing real crazy to note. The major thing in this cave is smithing stones. This is the big reason why you need to come down here. By the time you leave, you're going to leave with at least 12 +1 smithing stones, and they are a must-have to leveling up your base weapon. Also to mention, there's a couple tricky jump spots that they hide in these elevator shafts. Just pay attention to it. As you can see here, I will figure them out quickly. There are little ledges that you can jump down from to safely get down to the bottom, and there will be another lever to pull the elevator back down to you if you've already sent the elevator up, or vice versa. Just keep that in mind. Also, I'm noticing I die a lot in this cave. I make mistakes. It's not hard. This cave has some tricky enemies hiding in certain spots. The rats trip me up a couple times, and even this dog and miner trip me up. Don't be frustrated, just go at it again, learn from your mistakes, and you'll get to the boss in no time. And like I also mentioned about the tricky spots in the elevator, to get to the boss in this cave, he's in that middle spot where I jumped in earlier to get to him. There's no other level in the cave that will lead you to him that way except that middle ground spot that I showed you earlier. Alright, now that you've made it into this middle ground area, you need to watch out for these dudes with the lanterns. They will trigger a huge fire breath attack with it, and it's quite annoying. But if you strike them first and keep hitting them, they shouldn't pose that much of a threat. Alrighty, now that you made it down the elevator shaft there, you will be greeted by the boss door here. Now, it's no shame in summoning an extra friend to help you out if you do have one. If you don't, just delete the password you had shared with your friend to blank, and there will be other people who are willing to help you out in defeating this boss, who might be at the start of the area or at the boss door itself. It never hurts to look. As you can see here, I get lucky and I'm able to summon someone in to help me out. Now, with this boss, he may look intimidating, but there's nothing really too crazy about him. He is a basic ad that you'll see here later at the end of the video when I show you. He's just a giant. He doesn't do anything too terribly crazy. He's kind of easy to dodge. And with the help of a friend, it does go along a lot easier. There will be moments where you can stagger him and drop him down. Just keep in note that his stagger, or his critical spot, is right where his face is when he lands on the ground. So be sure to get yourself around in front of him when he falls down. Now, in this moment, when we fight this boss here, you will notice that we do get the stagger, but he falls and glitches himself through the wall. So we weren't able to get the critical in, but we were still able to put some damage in, wailing on him while he was down on the ground. But with a little bit of luck, you should get him in no time, and you can move on from this dungeon. Alrighty, so from the Grace where you meet your maiden and get Torrent, you're gonna head south. Go left and follow my path here, and I'm gonna show you a nice easy farm to get the material that helps you create these fur collar remedy. Boy, did I butcher that. So this farm is pretty straightforward. To the southeast-ish of this Grace, you'll see a bunch of tombstones there, and there'll be 3 of the urge leaf flowers right there. Then if you turn your direction the way I'm facing with my character, you can hop on Torrent and head over, and there'll be 2 more urge leaf flowers. You can keep repeating this over and over with that Grace and collect 5 of these flowers each time you reset the Grace. It is a very nice farm, and it is a must-have when needing to summon your friends or other players to help you out in boss fights or dungeons that prove difficult. Alrighty guys, now I'm going to show you a couple shacks that you need to head to. Starting from the Grace, where you meet your maiden, I will show you the safe route to get to the first shack, a tiny Erd tree, the second shack, and then how to get to your first boss, Margit the Fell Omen. Now, a few things to note here. Make sure you exhaust all of the dialogue for both people in their shacks. You don't have to fight these guys if you want to. The giant in the first part of the area is only going to net you about 1,000 runes, and he's a bit of a rough fight for my first playthrough, I remember. I would advise fighting the giant on your steed, and I would advise fighting him away from the other soldiers. Other than that, just follow along the path that I take to the first shack, and you'll talk to her. This girl will give you she'll warn you about Godric the Grafted, and then she will give you the spectral jellyfish. Now, if you head east from her shack, you will meet the War Master's shack. Now, 2 things to note from here. He will give you ashes for your weapons that are pretty useful. There's an attack debuff and a defense buff, not debuff, excuse me, that are very useful to have. And then to the east of his shack, just a few feet away, there are 3 root resin material pickups, which are awesome to have, and you can just keep hitting the Grace and farming the root resin material right then and there. So it's a very nice little farm. As I continue on and move along here, hopefully, I will show you the path to get to Margit the Fell Omen. He is going to be the first roadblock in your journey heading towards Stormvale Castle. Just a little side note to hopefully not get you guys as discouraged as I was getting. Margit the Fell Omen is a pain in the butt boss to fight. I had issues. I had to summon in extra people to help me out, and eventually we do get him, but he is an insane first boss to fight, and he does prove to be a little bit difficult. Probably up there in my top 5 worst bosses so far. Just for the fact that he is insane, erratic, and he will punch your shit in. I do advise grinding and leveling up before you fight him, but by all means, if you feel as confident as you want to be, take him out. Maybe you'll get lucky. But for the sake of the time of this video, I'm not going to show that fight. That'll be another video for another time. Because I have a few more things at the end of this video that I want to point out to you guys that I just discovered before I recorded these scenes here.
Margit's bullshit area. I'll just give you the shit. I hope I can give it all for a trade.
So, a fun thing to mention here is the witch spawned for me. I think you're supposed to have the Spectral Steed Torrent in order to be able to talk to her. but she finally spawned for me at night. I couldn't believe it. And she gives you your summoning bell, and she gives you wolf spirits to summon too, which will prove quite useful for you in the future fights with certain bosses or enemies. Basically, just exhaust all her dialogue. She tells you that she doesn't think you'll meet her again, but I feel like there's something with her side quest that will illuminate the path with her at some point in time. Who knows? I'm not entirely sure. On my first playthrough, like I've said earlier, I completely missed her. I had to buy the bell and the ashes for the wolves from the ladies at the round table.
Spirits will obey thine command but briefly, as they recall battles past. Now it is thine, to do with as thou wishest. Forgive mine intrusion, Tarnished. I doubt we shall again meet. But all the same, learn well the lands between. How long will it be, I wonder, before the Tarnished tire of obeisance to the two fingers?
Now, remember that thing about the crackpots I told you about? They are a reusable item, and Merchant Calais here will sell you 3 of them for 300 each, which is a super cheap deal because there's some other merchants out in the wild that actually sell them for like 1,500 runes. It's insane. So be sure to pick up about 900 runes and buy all 3. If you don't have 900 runes, head out to the woods, beat the crap out of the knights over and over again until you get 900 runes, because these 3 crackpots are essential to have. As you also see here what I'm doing, you can sell unneeded materials and items that you're not going to use, like extra chest piece, extra weapons, weapons that you can't even touch, or you don't plan on using. So that's another easy way to make some extra runes. So I just learned about this. Apparently you can put specialized markers down. Now on the controller, if you press X on your map, you have an array of special markers that you can use. And what I love using them right now is to mark awesome farming spots. So as you can see here, I'm going to mark the farming spots for the urge leaf flowers and the root resin. But yeah, use these markers to your extent. They will help you out so much when you find unique and special things out in the world of the lands between. Man, oh man, there we go. We are at the end. I hope I went over a lot of basics and a lot of go-to spots and locations. I really hope this video was very informational for you guys. And I hope some experienced players like myself learned a few things or two, because during my first playthrough, like I've mentioned before, there was a lot of things that I completely missed and I was oblivious to. So there will be more videos in the future. I have a lot of tour guide videos, I guess you could say, of some must go to caves and locations for any kind of player, ape or. So give me time. These videos do take a lot of work and I do not have to put in for these videos, but you guys like and comment down below. That lets me know you guys want to see more. So be sure to hit those thumbs up. Let me know you want more videos, and I will see you in the future. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.